Good morning, everybody. Welcome, everyone who's here in the chapel and everyone online. I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I have a bit of a sinus infection, and so I am feeling a little bit dehydrated and a lot raspy. So if you can just forgive me for that. Today is Sunday, March 19th. Tomorrow is the pagan holiday of Ostara, which is the pagan version of Easter. It is also the spring equinox, or the first day of spring. And on Tuesday, we are actually entering into a new moon in Aries, if you know what that means. What all of this means to me is that we are entering into a new season of rebirth, renewal, hope, and more importantly, to me at least, joy. And it's a big season of transformation. And with that, I'm going to get us started with a prayer out of the Prayers for Honoring Voice by Pixie Lighthorse called Honoring Transformation. Thank you for this beautiful day of changing. My shell is shifting, my skin shedding, and I am uncomfortable with what is leaving me. Help me find the language to describe the discarding, the bearing of my branches. Bring understanding so I can welcome what is coming. When I am unsure about how to go forward, help me prepare for my new stage. Help me trust that I will love myself through it. When the time is optimum, encourage me to let go of what is past. When those around me are not eager to know of my restored original spirit, soften me with the realization that if I am uncomfortable with my changing, they must be too. Let me be an example of becoming more whole while I am leaving unneeded parts of my previous shape behind. Startle my senses with cellular renewal, awakening my purpose and direction. Move me through the dark nights and ease the pain of liquefaction inside the chrysalis. Evacuate my soul's gestural poetry and help me find what is next with fluid movement. Unfurl my damp, untested wings and lift my willingness to the limitless sky. Rouse my interest in the world I am seeing with newborn vision. Reinforce my sacred commerce with the divine. Guide my hands to build altars to the portals of existence I can now pass through with ease. Protect me as I construct relationships that are more complex than those I have previously known. Strengthen my small shelter in the woods, my room of one's own to recreate, reinvent, and reimagine. Help me weave healing medicine with my acquired gifts and experiences. Harmonize my fresh layer with knowing the meaning of this shift. Ease me through the other side and set me down delicately to fully embody my unusual, more me form. Clear me of any blockages that stop the flow of goodness from me and the flow of goodness to me. Salt me with grateful tears and cleansing rain. Bathe me in the distilled waters of evolution. So what exactly is Ostara, you may ask? Ostara is a modern pagan holiday that celebrates the spring equinox, and it typically falls around March 20th or 21st, and it marks the beginning of spring and the awakening of nature. It is named after the German goddess Ostara, or Yoster, which is associated with the dawn and new beginnings. The holiday is often marked with the lighting of fires, the decorating of eggs, and the honoring of nature's rebirth and renewal. It's one of the 8 Sabbats in the Wheel of the Year calendar. The Wheel of the Year is a cycle of festivals that celebrates the changing seasons and the natural cycles of life. Each festival in the Wheel of the Year represents a unique phase in the cycle of life and is associated with different aspects of nature. So Ostara marks the beginning of spring in the Northern Hemisphere, and it's the time when day and night are of equal length. And from this point onwards, the days will become longer and the nights shorter. And this is also a time of rebirth and renewal when the natural world awakens from its winter slumber. It's a time when we can celebrate the return of the light, the growth of new life, and the renewal of hope. It's also a time when we can connect with the natural world, celebrating the changing seasons, and embrace the ongoing cycles of life. In the Wheel of the Year calendar, Ostara follows the dark and introspective period of Imbolc, which celebrates the return of light and the preparation for the coming spring. And it precedes Beltane, May Day, which marks the midpoint of spring and celebrates the fertility of the earth and the coming of summer. The great news about all of this is that anyone who wants to celebrate the arrival of spring and the renewal of life can also participate in this holiday, regardless of their religious or spiritual beliefs. Because the focus of this celebration is on the renewal and rebirth of nature, so it can be a beautiful opportunity to connect with the natural world and all of its cycles. Some of the traditional practices of Ostara include decorating eggs, which symbolize new life, planting seeds, lighting bonfires, performing rituals to welcome the spring, holding feasts with traditional spring foods, and gathering flowers and greenery to decorate your homes and your altars. And as with Imbolc, this is a good time for purification of your home and even yourself. What habits or ruts have you still not shaken free from that you would like to let go of? This is often a time when you start to hear more and more people talk about spring cleaning. This is also a good time to be planting seeds for what you'd like to manifest in the coming months, both literally, if you have a garden, and figuratively in terms of spell work, if that is something that you do. From the book Prayers of Honoring Voice by Pixie Lighthorse, the one that I just read our opening prayer from, spring is associated with the cardinal direction of the east. And in the east, and an excerpt of this book says, in the east, the adventurer steps out of the precipice of the unknown with unprecedented enthusiasm. The excitement of possibility, fear, trepidation, fantasies, and imaginings of what may come. It's a time to acknowledge risks, assess favorable climates, and step out of comfort zones to honor what is true. Facing the sunrise, greet the day with courage and belief in yourself. Look to others who have walked the path you want to walk and make notes. Create the roads that have yet to be paved. Point your compass in the direction of the changes you want to experience and prepare for exploration. When I graduated high school many years ago, the saying for our graduating class was something to the effect of, do not take the path that is already there, create a new one. For me, this is where I take the reflections I made over the last several months of the cold winter and start to put them into practice in my life. This last winter, as many of you already know, I went through a series of really hard transitions. From the separation of a beloved partner to major crises with my teens, having to quickly move from the home I thought I would be in for the rest of my life, to the passing of my dad, and then to temporarily moving in with friends. I've definitely been through it. I've spent a good amount of time trying to decide how I wanted to come out on the other side of all of this chaos and trauma. And what I realized was that holding on to all of those old beliefs and patterns and ways of living that I've held on to for so long weren't helping. One of the things that I have had recently being I just got back yesterday, to honor some renewal and some rebirth within my own life, was that I planned a quick getaway trip to one of my most sacred and favorite places within the state of Colorado. I brought a dear friend with me that I knew could also use a bit of a reset. We left on Thursday this last week and returned yesterday. This particular place holds so much magic for me that I knew I would not only be able to find the reset that I so desperately needed, I would also be able to find some time to breathe into the changes that are coming into my life. Not only that, but being there, I knew that I would regain some of the magic that I had lost for this land that I feel is so sacred to me. While I was there, I was really able to lean into this idea of letting go of what no longer serves me. What this looks like for me, in what I found out, is letting go of the need to control what happens around me and lean further into the things that are within my control. Excuse me. One of the things that I've been doing a lot in the separation from my partner is sending him podcasts and book suggestions and emails and texts, trying to influence the work that he's been doing on his own so that he could see things from my perspective. But every time that I've tried that, I almost always end up more disappointed, because not only does he not see what I'm trying to present him with, but I wind up having to explain myself over and over again. And that gets pretty tiring after a while. But over the days that I had sat in the hot water of the hot springs, at the hot springs that I spent the last few days at, I really leaned into what it would look like if I just let things be. What if I just took a step back and allowed him to do the work that he needs to do, and not try to influence what that means for us? I realized that if I had to force anything, maybe reuniting with him after this period of separation just isn't the right move. So I decided that taking a step back and giving him the space to heal and grow in his own way was the best way. And if this relationship really is something that would be good for both of us, we would come back together in June, as we had agreed upon, ready to grow together and not battle each other so much because we don't feel seen or heard. And along with the thoughts of this relationship, I realized it was time for me to release control of what I wanted life for my teens to look like. They are both beautiful and autonomous beings, and they deserve the space to grow in whatever way that looks best for them. Not some vision I hold for what I think they should do. Obviously, I will speak up when I feel as though the choices they are making are harmful to themselves or others, but taking a step back and observing will take a lot of stress off of my already overburdened shoulders. And with taking a step back from both of these situations for the first time in my life, I am finally able to really take a step toward my own growth and leaning into the passions that I've held for myself for so very long now. But I've been too scared to take the step and take the risk of just launching into them. As I mentioned, I spent a couple of days in a space that I find truly magical. Boy, was it cold, but it gave me a newfound appreciation for being outside in nature, breathing in fresh air, feeling more expansive than I have in months, rather than being holed up, feeling small and introverted. I was able to shake off some of the uncertainty that I've been holding on to for so many months now. I felt the sun on my skin, the water surrounding my body, and I was able to really feel into the joy that has been filtering into my life for a few weeks now. I felt joy for all of the things that are happening in my life. I have so many ideas for helping rebuild my communities after COVID knocked them down and the sluggishness of this last year. I started a Harvard X course on religious literacy, traditions, and scriptures recently so that I could show up more authentically in this space of being a pastor and a leader of others. And in a couple of months, I will be a full-time student again, starting work towards my bachelor's of psychology, and then ultimately moving on to my PhD. And I am so passionate about this work and so excited that I've already come up with an idea, a basic idea for what I want my thesis for my PhD to look like. I really want to lean into the mental health crisis with today's youth and how we can show up as a greater community to help support our youth in the growth and the renewal that they find themselves in a near constant state. I'm coming into a season of my life where just flowing with a status quo no longer works for me. Without growth, I make poor choices, not only for myself, but for the people surrounding me. In this new time of spring, I surrender the old versions of myself that I held on to so tightly because they were familiar and comfortable. And I take a step forward into the unknown with a knowing that whatever I find in that vastness of the creation I have, it will be bigger and more beautiful than anything I have ever known before, because I took the risk to do better for me. And with this, I challenge all of you here today and all of you listening online to shed the old stories that have been holding you back. Shed those old stories that you hold on to because they are comfortable and they are known. Take a step out into the warm sun and envision a life full of potential and growth. Make a plan for what that growth, like what you want your life to look like in 6 months, in a year, in 5 years. And then put into place the steps that it will take to make that growth possible. Plant some seeds, like some literal seeds that you can nurture, and some seeds within your mind of what possibilities are there for you to nurture and grow from within your spiritual body. Break out of those familiar patterns of your past and flow with what life gives you. Relinquish control, however that looks for you. Remember, the only things you can control are the things that are within your power to do so. Situations and what other people do with their lives are outside of your control and will only cause worry and anxiety that you could easily let go of, so that you can turn your focus more inward toward the things in your life that need tending. I would like to end my message here today with an excerpt called Gravity by Mindy Meltz. And then I'm going to hand the podium over to Rev Sam for some final thoughts and announcements and a closing prayer. Doesn't everyone have some place, somewhere that they are so sure remembers them? but now not even a bird could recognize it from the sky. And sometimes I wake up scared to know I was born into a world like a giant mechanical body, a world made of truck and plastic and supermarket. And no matter how much I think I love, every time I do anything, I accidentally knock down forests with my giant mechanical hands. But I go to sleep among fireflies, and the earthworm tells me how deep within where we cannot see, he is she and she is he, and they are integrating it all, reweaving the groundwork for life. Young monarchs with stained glass wings tell how it took generations before they even looked beyond the next flower. How their early spring and summer ancestors could not imagine the new worlds they fly toward now. So who knows? Vultures tell how they seek death out. That's where the nourishment is. Cicadas must drink from the roots of history for a long time before they can rise and sing. Deer tell how to lay their antlers down and give it up, trusting that new ones will grow back stronger next year. Hermit crabs are willing to walk naked on the beach from the old shell to the new. Cardinals never fly away south, no matter how cold it gets, but call up the sun with their red songs each morning. Bears make the spring come by surrendering to the darkness of winter. Desire wakes the groundhogs in spring. Salmon, moving impossibly uphill against the flow of time, tell me that really, they're only returning home. And Canada geese tell how spring is nothing more than circling back to the wholeness we once knew. I dream the earth holds me tight. They call it gravity. I call it love. The river is going down, down to the center. It is always going there. Whales were once land creatures, but they return to the sea. And I am not afraid. This is a time to reclaim your magic by breaking free of old patterns and habits. It's a time to release the patterns that keep you stuck. Time to break out of the warm and comfy cocoon of winter. Embrace the warmth of the sun and the energy of rebirth and renewal of spring and reinvent yourself. Take the risk, lean into transformation. Let go of the self-limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. Follow your passion and reach for the hope and joy that comes next. Break out of your cocoon and spread your beautiful butterfly wings. Reb Sam, could you please come on up and let us know of any announcements and lead us in a closing prayer, please?
I wrote that down, what you said, because it is so meaningful, especially when we think of all the things that we experience in life. Let go of what no longer serves you. Wow. It's Lent. We're in the middle of Lent, and Lent for most people from a Christian tradition, it's all about letting go, giving up things, chocolate, coffee, which I haven't done. I probably am obsessed with coffee right now. There's a full pot, so I got to get there before Faustino shows up and drinks our full pot of coffee, because he sneaks in and drinks coffee. But let go of what no longer serves you. So what you talked about in transformation is so important, to start to look at our lives more intently and deeper, so that we know what is no longer serving me. And it just made me think of what are the things I really feel like I need to meditate on those words, because what are the things that are not serving me. And sometimes those are the things we cling to the most because we really like them. we like what they bring to us, that we like what they make us feel. And then when we look a little more circumspectly, we sit and go, this is not serving me. This is not making me a better person, a better human being. So my challenge, what I took from the message is let go of what no longer serves you. So I encourage you this week to look a little deeper into your life. And I'll do that same for my life. But let's just close it with this prayer, and then I'll go into the announcements. I think we have. Is there a bookmark? The black one? Yeah. That one. Okay. Fuller Life. Good. Okay. I'm going to do a closing prayer from Progressive Prayers for Progressive People. Let us pray. Good and gracious God, the creation which surrounds us is full of energy and potential, constantly blooming with new life and new opportunities. Plopped in the middle of this great creation, we humans too frequently find ourselves doing things and creating things which run counter to the life-giving energy of the world which surrounds us. We build weapons of mass destruction. We thoughtlessly strip the world of its resources and beauty. We hoard up things that were never ours. And even worse, too frequently, we become far too adept at stripping away the simple joys of life. We allow life to be more about competition and less about collaboration, more about judgment and less about gentleness, more about differences and less about common ground, more about taking life and less about sharing it. May we begin to see more clearly the value in all life. May we begin to share more abundantly. May we begin to seek out and embrace those who struggle. And may we be open to love, the care, the embrace of those who offer the same to us. And may we let go of those things that no longer serve us. Amen. Thank you, Joella, for that timely message. Okay, big announcements. Big announcements, little announcements. I don't know. They're announcements. Sunday, April 2nd. That's the Sunday before Easter. Okay? Sunday, April 2nd, we're going to do again our second annual Chocolate and Wine Sunday. So we want to make sure that you know you are invited to join us here on Sunday, April 2nd at 1 o'clock. No, there will be no Sunday morning message. In fact, there's not going to be a message. We're just going to get together, drink wine, eat chocolate. There might be some snacks around here to eat. And we're going to watch a movie. The movie is called Chocolat with Johnny Depp and Juliette Binoche and Alfred Molina. And it's about a little French village that experiences Lent. And it's very meaningful and entertaining. And it's a movie that I like to watch every single year. Wendy and I have watched it for years around this Easter time. And because the message is so clear, none of us need to say anything. Just be in it. And so I think you'll enjoy it. So we want to make sure you know you are invited. We'll get something up in Facebook. We'll try to keep everybody abreast of what's going on. We're going to have a projection screen. So we're not going to drag out a TV. We're going to do the real deal. We're going to have a little bit of a PA. Is it a PA system or something? I don't know. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good. So don't miss Sunday, April 2nd at 1 o'clock here at Amazing Love Sanctuary. And and you can bring, you don't have to, but you can bring your favorite chocolate. I think Joella loves to plan and organize. So I think she's already looking at having plenty of chocolate here for everybody to eat. And then if you have a favorite wine that you want to drink, please bring that wine, and we'll have cups here to share, and we'll drink wine together and watch the movie, and it'll be a great time. So if you were here last year, be here this year. If you weren't here last year, be here this year. So be a part of Chocolate and Wine Sunday. And this is our Lent, and it's not about giving up. It's about embracing something new. So let go of the old. Whatever Lent was to you, I didn't grow up celebrating Lent. You didn't, and so we're just kind of taking it and giving it a whole new meaning for us here. So this week, with everything that Joella talked about, go plant some seeds. I like that idea. Something new, something fresh. Put some new seeds into the ground, not just physically and literally, but put some new seeds into your own heart. And so I think that's about it. And I want to encourage everybody to do one more thing. Keep Joella in your thoughts. She's charging out into a brave new world, and she's gonna conquer the world, and I like that. So we're here. I'm here to support her, and we want to all be here to support Joella and her ventures, and the girls, and Easton, and Easton just turned 1, and she had a baby goat thing that they had baby goats at the party. Maybe not. It was the greatest idea, but that wasn't bad. Okay, it was other stuff. Okay, so if you want to know about having baby goats at a party, check with Reverend Joella. So anyway, blessings to you and to all. Have a great Sunday. Don't forget to share the message. And out there, we'll put it on some other forums. And we could sure use your support financially. There's some links in our Facebook page to give to Amazing Love Sanctuary. We're not taking salaries or money, and so, but we definitely do need some support going forward into the year. But so the lights are on, the door's open, the rent's paid, we're happy, and so we just need some support to keep doing the mission that we feel that we've been called to do. So support us. Even more so, be here with us Sunday mornings at coffee's on at 10:30. Service will start somewhere between 11 and noon, but we're always here. If we get busy talking, we're fine. So blessings to you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.